Do you struggle to take everything you know, everything you've built, and turn it into an offer ecosystem that people actually understand and want to buy? You have the expertise, you have the ideas, but getting all of that out of your head and into offers that connect, speak to the right people, sell with ease, and actually grow your business, that's a whole different skill set. And that's exactly what this show is about. Welcome to the Offer Mojo Show. I'm Lori Young, offer strategist and creator of the Offer Mojo framework. I help coaches and expert led business owners package their expertise into offers you love and buyers actually crave. Because when your offers finally click, everything else gets easier. Let's get into it. This is the summer wrap up I promised you at the beginning of the Refine and Recline podcast series. Did I do everything I committed to in that first episode? Or did I fall off track? This one is real, honest, and raw, with a few surprises thrown in. Hope it inspires you to recap your own summer and celebrate all your wins and learnings. Whenever I hear moms start talking about their kids going back to school, I know that summer is almost officially over. And honestly, I can't believe it. It has totally flown by. You see, my boys are grown, so I don't get that thrill or that sadness that fills the house when you finally have some space to breathe. At the beginning of the summer, I started a podcast series called Refine and Recline, which was all about being intentional about refining areas of our business when we can, while also reclining and enjoying the warmer weather. Over the last 2 months, we've talked about my summer business strategy, identifying clutter in our business that needs to go, clearing out offers that no longer work, simplifying and rebuilding our business for profit, and making refinements to our offers one layer at a time. And today is the last episode in our series, and I promise to revisit my summer business strategy and report on what actually happened. Because if you're anything like me, you have big dreams and goals, and then life, well, it just happens. So, what I'm going to do is actually revisit episode 1 of this series myself so that I can actually remember what I was supposed to be doing. And we will talk about what I actually did, what I didn't do, and where I got a little sidetracked. So, let's dig in. At the beginning of summer, I was inching very quickly towards burnout. I've been there before, so the feeling is way too familiar. But this time, I was going to intentionally nip it in the bud. And I think I successfully did that because in the last 2 weeks, I've been able to breathe again. But I had to make some hard decisions to do that. If you listened to episode 1, you might remember me telling you that the first thing I was going to prioritize was fun. For me, that's all about bringing joy back to my business. And in order for me to experience joy, I needed to make room for creativity and connecting. My creativity gets expressed through my content, creating offers, and serving my clients. And connection happens when I have time to be fully present in my business communities, in coffee chats, in collaborations, and in my podcast. I am proud to say that both of these things are back for me. The content drag is not overwhelming me as much, and I'm finding myself with more headspace to come up with new ideas. I've been having fun creating Instagram content. It's kind of like my playground for diving into the Edits app, the CapCut app, and telling stories through carousels. And my connection time has been so amazing this summer. I've had so many awesome coffee chats. One even turned into a beautiful relationship and an unexpected client referral machine. Earlier in the summer, my business communities were starting to feel like just one more thing on my plate. But just this past week, I had such refueling and enriching experiences back to back in both my Rising Tide Collective community as well as a more recent community that I joined that's all about journaling. One of the women that I did a coffee chat with gave me a free human design reading. It's not that I haven't done these before, but this time, for whatever reason, it stuck. Some of the things that came out of that reading have refueled my joy as well, like reminders not to exhaust myself and to balance my need to move and my need to wait. But I think the biggest freedom came from the reminder that trying to prove my worth by outworking or outwilling others is the fastest path to exhaustion. I guess you could say that learning to slow down this summer taught me a lot about myself and played a significant role in putting the ease and the fun back into business. So, what I want to say about fun is if you're not feeling it in your business, ask yourself why. Reconnect to the deeper reason you are in business. Make space for the things you love in your business and consider letting go of the things that are zapping your joy. Now, the second thing I told myself I was going to focus on this summer was just learning and reflecting. And now I'm racking my brain trying to come up with anything new that I actually learned. But there are a couple of things. I have not gotten this perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm learning to receive. I know that might sound weird, but as someone who has been a lifelong giver and doer, it's a big learning curve for me to receive. Here's the thing about receiving: the universe is not going to give us something if we don't have capacity to receive it. If we are exhausted, why would the universe give us more clients to make us even more tired? If we don't believe we deserve more money or we aren't properly managing the money we have, why would the universe hand us more? And if we don't create the mental and emotional space we need to receive the answers we've been searching for, we are going to continue to feel stuck. I'm learning this through journaling and through a couple of soulful experts in the business communities that I'm in. It's actually fascinating because I'm noticing miracles showing up in my business, all because I am open to receiving what God has planned for me, not what I have planned for me. And I think the other thing I'm learning is to just be honest with myself. Prior to this summer, I could convince myself that I have endless energy, and if I just do the right things in my business, it will continue to grow. The truth is, I don't have endless energy anymore, and I'm actually starting to enjoy resting a lot more. I find myself saying things like, nah, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. That sounds exhausting. I don't know why it's been so hard to admit I'm tired of doing shit that has zero ROI. I'm tired of feeling undervalued. There are things I'm tired of that I've just decided to just stop doing, like chasing friends that don't want to put in the effort to have a reciprocal relationship, or doing crap the experts tell you that you need to do to get more visibility, make more money, etc. I'm in my era of what my friend Rachel Johnson says: do what you want. And it's actually kind of freeing. You should try it. Speaking of doing what I want, one of those things that I told you I was going to do that I actually wanted to do was refining my messaging. This was probably my biggest project this summer besides my Offer X-Ray launch, but I'll share more on that in a minute. I did hire the copywriter to rewrite all of my homepage and all of my offer sales pages messaging. And because I am notoriously ambitious, I decided to redesign my entire website at the same time. So, yes, fresh messaging, fresh design. I'm super pleased with how everything turned out, and I feel like my website is now a better reflection of me. If you remember from the previous episode, this whole project began because I was testing my new tool, the Offer X Ray, before launch began on June 22nd. And my own tool that I built told me that my messaging on my offers was the one area that needed improvement. So the tool did its job. Now let's talk about that Offer X Ray launch because I am all about 1000% transparency in sharing things so that you can learn from my mistakes. I'm not a hardcore deadline launcher. It's actually the opposite of what my nervous system responds to. So I intentionally chose a long launch window. It happened from June 22nd through July 31st. And this time I did things differently than I've ever done before. I brought on 15 Offer Mojo partners to help me test the tool and launch it to their communities. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly on what happened. Let's start with the good. All of my partners were so excited to get their hands on this tool, and many of them did their due diligence and actually tested the tool. The feedback was incredible. All of my testers raved about how good the Offer X-Ray was. And so it confirmed for me that what I built was super solid. I'm honestly very proud of that. I can actually rest easy knowing that anyone who uses the tool is going to get amazing results and feedback. Here's where the launch started to go slightly bad. It was really hard getting partners to promote. Now, I get it. We are all so busy, and promoting my offer is just one more thing added to their already growing plate. I just realized I didn't know something before, that having partners is a lot of work. Most of my partners did follow through and they shared the tool with their audience, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. And a few of my super partners actually made sales plus upsells. So, yay for them and yay for me. My favorite part actually of the whole partnership thing was just connecting with my partners through this whole launch. But here's where the launch got real ugly. And I think it's because I ignored my intuition. When my team and I were building out this funnel, I went against my better judgment when my developer suggested that we build the funnel in order of the sales page, then log into the tool, then payment. My gut was telling me that it needed to be built in order of the sales page, payment, then log in to the tool. But I get it. He was trying to protect the access to the tool, but it actually backfired. Out of 447 people who visited the sales page, 147 people actually logged into the tool and then stopped at the payment page. Only 9 people followed through and bought the Offer X-Ray. Now, I don't think that is because they were surprised that the tool cost money. The sales page clearly stated the price. I think they got confused, they lost their momentum, or they felt hoodwinked and bamboozled. So I'm trying not to get caught up in the potentially $6,900 that I lost, but instead ask myself, what is the lesson in all of this? For me, it's trust your damn instincts. It is my business, and I would rather that I be wrong than someone I hired be wrong. So moving on. Now, I'm going to hold myself accountable in a real way. At the beginning of summer, I told you and me that I was going to experiment on Substack. I was going to use Substack as a creative writing playground. That lasted for 1 month. I literally wrote 2 articles and then I ran out of juice. Trying to create on a new platform was just not possible with my current content ecosystem. So I started looking really hard at my entire content strategy and asking myself some really hard questions. What could I reliably maintain while keeping my commitment to having fun and maintaining my energy for what matters, which is showing up for people in a high quality way? For context, at the beginning of the summer, I was creating content for my podcast, my blog, my weekly newsletter, Medium, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Threads, and Substack. Are you feeling tired just listening to me? I know I'm feeling a bit like a crazy woman right now when I spell it all out. So the bigger question was, what's actually important to me? What honors my needs for connection and creativity? And what actually builds my business? LinkedIn was doing nothing, so that left. Instagram is my creative fun place. Plus, it's where all of my collaborators hang out, so that stayed. Medium was a waste of my time. YouTube was a waste of my time. So both of those are gone. What was left was my podcast, my blog, my weekly newsletter, Threads, and Substack. That is still 5 platforms plus Instagram, making it 6. So still something had to give. So I made a very hard decision for my business. I am moving my podcast and my blog to an every other week cycle so that I have the bandwidth to explore a new audience over on Substack. For now, this is a temporary decision, at least until the end of the year. And as with all business decisions, we learn and sometimes we change our minds. I might start loving Substack and streaming through that platform, which will bring back more episodes. I'm not sure yet. I might even love the bi-monthly rhythm, and you might too. One thing I do know for sure is that the online space is crazy noisy, and I don't want to add to more noise. Someone on Threads said to me, I don't have time to keep up with listening to weekly podcast episodes. Neither do I. So why am I killing myself to produce weekly episodes? I honestly want the flexibility of committing to bi-monthly episodes and then surprising you with an additional episode if I feel like it. That's allowed, right? The one platform that will remain weekly is my email newsletter. So if you want to hang out with me every week, join that. It's much easier to keep up with my short email anyway. Just go to my website at onamissionbrands.com and look for the button in the navigation bar to join my newsletter. Or come hang out with me on Substack and let's see what happens over there. My Substack is the Offer Magician's Notebook. And if you're on Insta or Threads, follow me over there. I'm still actively posting content and practicing stories. I can't say I'm succeeding on stories, but at least I'm still trying. I'm doing better today than I was at the beginning of summer. Now, the last thing I told you I was going to do at the beginning of the Refine and Recline series was organize my collaboration space in ClickUp. Nope, didn't do it. And now I've added to the clean up my Google Drive. But hey, let me tell you what I have finally accomplished. Cleaned and organized my damn garage. To be honest, this was my biggest accomplishment of the entire summer. Because first and foremost, I had to get my spouse on board. And you do not know my spouse when it comes to throwing stuff away. It literally took us 4 weekends of busting our booties to clean this garage. So for a little organization freak like myself, I have been doing so many happy dances on this one. Now for the recap of what I actually built this summer. Circumvented burnout and got my breathing space back. Reconnected with amazing humans in a fully present way. Made significant progress on the art of receiving. Started telling myself the honest damn truth. Refined all my messaging and redesigned my website to look more like me. Launched the Offer X-Ray with both wins and losses. Redefined my entire content strategy and cleaned my freaking garage. I feel rested. I feel rejuvenated. And I definitely feel refined. So it's a summer well spent for me. So here's what I want you to do sometime this week. Get out a piece of paper and write down all of the ways that you refined and reclined this summer. Give yourself credit for everything you accomplished. Celebrate all of the ways that you grew as a person. And go sip on one last cocktail or mocktail by the pool. Just a reminder, there will not be a podcast episode next week, but I will be back the following week with one of my favorite people, Melanie Benson. We will be talking about how strategic proximity turns your network into a client attracting ecosystem. She is so good. And please help me spread the word about this show. Share the Refine and Recline series with all your biz besties, and I will see you in 2 weeks.